Morning, this is Brian. Today is Wednesday, July 9th, 2025, and I'm here at Natalie Park, a small little area with picnic tables just next to Miramar Reservoir. Down there, Lake Miramar, local reservoir here in Scripps Ranch, San Diego. Today, my plan is to get up to that ridge line and hit a local peak bagger summit, Peak 952, which is going to be up there somewhere. So my plan, or my goal, is to find a trail that leads up towards a ridge line southwest of Peak 952, and then take a network of use trails, and that'll take me up towards the peak. So this should be an interesting day. I've been wanting to do this peak for a while. I'm picking an early morning like this because I know the heat's going to be on today. Today's going to be, I think, the second hottest day of the week. So right now I'm pre-hydrating. Usually, like the last hike I went up near Mission Trails, I didn't drink anything till I came back. I pack more water than I need, but I don't usually drink a lot. So I'm pre-hydrating today because I know it's going to be a sweaty climb to get up to that ridge. I would expect it to be an extenuatingly difficult hike, but I just definitely want to be prepared and make sure I have some water in my system before I start climbing up. So what I got to do is walk through the back of the park, and look for a trail heading roughly north. So if you were to do this peak like I am, you'd want to, unless you want to walk around the reservoir, is drive about 2/3 of the way around it and find this little park, and just find a spot near a picnic table to park. And if you pack a lunch or something, you can obviously kick back here for a while before or after your hike. I think this is going to be a pretty interesting day. Looking forward to continuing my hiking streak, keeping it going. Getting out before the heat kicks in. Obviously, I'll be botanizing today. Obviously, I'll be pointing out trees and shrubs along the way. Especially when I'm finished gulping this water. But yeah, you got little restrooms, picnic tables, and refuse bins. Alright, so now that my water's done, let's get ready to embark on another adventure. So first off, my parking spot is a pretty cool little spot. I got an Australian native here, the bushy yate, Eucalyptus conferruminata. I never tried smelling the leaves of these because eucalyptus trees are usually pretty aromatic. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. And bushy yate is no exception. So this is Eucalyptus conferruminata. And Canary Island pine. Nice narrow one here. Beautiful tree. And then lots of Eucalyptus platycalyx. Looks like lemon scented gum, Corymbia citriodora. An Aleppo pine. Columnar Italian cypress. Alright, well, I'm going to start walking through the park, and I'll look for that trail heading up to the ridge. So I'll see you in the next clip. Yeah, Chinese elm right here. Young Chinese elm. Pretty cool. Alright. Look around for this trail. walk around on this dirt track. Even a giant bird of paradise. Strelitzia nicolai, right next to a very native Quercus dumosa. Okay. It's an interesting little park. Alright. So let's go ahead and look for that trail. Huh. There's the other bird of paradise, Strelitzia reginae. Right there. Interesting. Alright. I think this is my trail here, I believe. Yes, this should be it right here. Right where it says off-road activity prohibited. Alright. Let's start climbing. Let's make another fun adventure today. Start climbing up to the hills. There are several little peat bagger bumps along, I think just in the neighborhood. All right. I think Miramar Hill North or something. Oh, what does that say? There's another sign up ahead. What does that say? I can't read it. Oh, no outlet, steep trail. All right, I ain't really tripping off that. So I need to go, I think, past a couple of these perpendicular junctions. I think I need to go up to another junction before I start branching off. Somebody branching off, heading roughly east-ish. My peak's going to be somewhere off in that direction. This probably will require a little bit of route finding because there are a network of trails, use trails, and probably game trails that cut through this whole area, so I'm going to need to pay attention. So here's already a junction here, and a little piece of rare botany right here. California spine shrub. Some Adolphia californica. These little brown things on the screen, those are the open seed capsules from this plant. It looks like we've got a population here. I guess I shouldn't be surprised to see it, but I almost never expect to see it. And then it pops up, and it shed most of its leaves for the summer dry season. Very interesting. Alrighty, already getting an interesting botanical level. So I'm going to go a little further up this and see if there's another junction. If not, well, I think there is, but I might take this trail here. I'm going to go back. I'm going to go up this a little further. Came up pretty quickly, actually. Alright. Oh, this is pretty nice. Yeah, coastal sage scrub now. Yeah, some black sage. Nice and fragrant as usual. Got a lot of Coast Golden Bush here too. What variety are we seeing here? This is Isocoma menziesii, variety Veranoides. I can tell because most of the leaves, I think most of all the leaves have teeth on them. There are a lot of them that don't. You're looking at variety menziesii. Ooh, yeah, this is pretty steep. Probably have to go back down to that junction. What do we got coming up here? Oh, bush rue. Okay. Some Neuridium demosum. And we're starting to break out into chaparral now too. There's actually a lot of chaparral along the edge of the lake. Whoa, this is pretty slippery. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that other junction was the one I was supposed to take. This is very slippery here, just be careful. Alright. What variant of chamise are we seeing here? This one looks kind of intermediate. But this is obtusifolium. This is Adenosoma fasciculata, variety obtusifolium. This is what we're seeing here. A little surprised to see it this far inland, but it's there. Okay, so yeah, my peak, sorry for the sun glare in advance, but my peak's gonna be over there. That's where peak 952 is. So yeah, I think my junction, I think I was supposed to take the other junction, but you know what? Since I'm already here, I may as well make a side trip out of this. Yeah, some nice views opening up already. I think there's good views of Lake Miramar reservoir. Very nice. Very nice views already opening up. So I think I'm going to follow this up to shortly before the houses and see. I guess I'm making a little side trip. Yeah. This is a pretty cool little ridgeline walk here too. I don't know any of the names of these canyons, if they even. They all pretty much form a part of the topography that allows Lake Miramar to be filled and used. So I'm going to head up to where those large shrubs are up there. I'm going to turn around, go back to that trail, and follow it along the contours of the lower parts of this hill. I'm going to go over towards the residential area, and then I'm going to break off from there and head basically directly up to the peak. This is pretty nice too, though. There's a big scrub oak up ahead. That'll probably be close to my turnaround point because I see landscaping behind it. Actually, let's see what kind of scrub oak this is. So it might be more of an acutidens here. These are a little larger. I think it might be acutidens. I think. Could be Berbertifolia. Alright. So we're almost at the mesa. We're almost at the mesa top. Yeah, see? It's got a dead end at these houses here. Alright. Not going to get any closer to these bushes here. Just want to see. Oh wow, yeah. It's pretty nice views up here. Oh wow, I can see all the peaks in Cleveland National Forest. I think the views up here might be better than they're going to be on Peak 952. There's a lot of tree cover, especially on the north slope. So I'm going to point out some views here, and I'll see what I can point out on Peak 952. I'm going to start by looking west. That's over by University Town Center. Those higher-rise buildings out there. Then in the haze is Soledad Mountain, prominent point above La Jolla. Now I'm going to move it more to the southwest, and I can see Miramar Marine Corps Air Station down there. I'm going to move it off to the south, and I can see the peaks at Mission Trails Regional Park. There's North Fortuna Mountain right there, and that's Coles Mountain. Nice chunk of the ridgeline's kind of hidden in the shadows of the other peaks. And then a little further off, you can see San Miguel Mountain off in the haze. Also, you can also see Otay Mountain even further off in the haze. So now we're looking southeast, and I can see a lot of Cleveland National Forest summits way out there. You zoom a little bit further in. There we go, got Lions Peak out by Hamul. Then we got over by Lawson and Gaskill Peaks over there. And then I can see the profile of Corte Madera Mountain and Los Pinos Mountain. Corte on the left, Los Pinos on the right. And now we're looking east, and of course I can see the profiles of Cuyamaca Peak there on the left, and Viejas Mountain over by Alpine. And then this is looking northeast, and there's too much glare, so there's really not much to point out there. And then trying to avoid as much glare as possible, there's Woodson Mountain over by Powell and Ramona. As we're looking out to the northeast now. Looking off north, this is the area above Scripps Ranch right here. Northwest. And back to the west. And then we got these beautiful canyons below us. Zoom back. So I don't need to zoom out too far. Yeah, look at this. These nice little canyons that all form the topography, which give Miramar Reservoir such an interesting shape. It's relatively rounded over here, but on this side there are a bunch of bays and peninsulas, which kind of make the topography very interesting on the north side of the lake. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start heading back. That's why I want to point out the views here, because the views up here might be better than they are going to be on the peak. So that's why I wanted to do that. I'm going to start taking some photos now. So as I'm hiking down this slowly and carefully, come across more fascicle tarweed, Deinandra fasciculata. This is such a cheerful plant. It grows in these dreary, dry summer conditions. Well, most other plants would consider it too dreary and dry. But it is a very late spring through early to midsummer bloomer that can make things very cheerful up here in the hills. Oh, I missed this on the way up. That's going to be another botanically interesting day. It already is. But yeah, we got some coast barrel cactus. Oh yeah, Phaerocactus viridescens. Oh yeah, look at that. How handsome those are. Yeah, those are really handsome coast barrel cactus specimens right there. Okay. Alright. So I'm going to head back down to that second trail junction. That should be the one that's going to take me the direction I'm going. I'm pretty sure the first one would do the same because there were a lot of trails networking through this area. But I think the second one I passed on the way up here was going to be it. I just want to come up this way, make sure there wasn't another one, and if there were, and if not, still wanted to explore that vista point up there. Alright, so I'm going to keep working my way back down, and I'll keep you posted. Alright, so I'm almost back at my trail that I'm going to start heading towards the northeast. Just about back. Very carefully walking down this hill covered in lots of small pebbles that are very loose. Alright. I'm going to have to probably point my camera at an oblique angle because I'm going to be heading directly towards the sun. But here's our trail. So if we're coming up from Natalie Park, this is the second junction right here. So this is the one I'm going to take heading northeast, directly into the sun. Alright. So I'm going to have to kind of mind the angle of the camera so you guys will get a headache watching my video. But yeah, sorry for the sun again, but there's my peak up there. That's peak 952. I hope I can get a good thumbnail for my video. Maybe when the sun's up a little bit longer, maybe I'll get lucky. But I kind of have to point it at an oblique angle. So maybe I'll point it down. You can see the glow of the shrubs. Yeah. Yeah, this is a pretty nice trail. Contouring the north rim of this canyon. Pretty nice. But yep, heading towards my peak up there, the upper right hand corner. That's my destination for today, or at least my intended one. It does get climbed on Peak Bagger. Oh yeah. Here's more of that Adolphia californica, good old spine shrub. This time mixing with the chaparral. This is pretty. Should be pretty easy hiking for quite a while before I have to gain the ridge for peak 952. Wow, look how tall this chamise is. Yep. This one is pretty intermediate between the regular variant Adenostoma fasciculatum variety fasciculatum and the Adenostum fasciculata variety obtusifolium. This one's kind of intermediate. I guess where they intergrade, they're probably intermediate. This one's a little closer to obtusifolium. So this is a pretty good place to study the variants in common in chamise. The coastal chamise and the inland chamise, or the main common chamise. This is a pretty interesting area to study these, the integrating of the variants. Yep. So this trail is going to kind of contour. It looks like it's going to go up a little bit, down a little bit. This isn't going to be an extremely difficult hike. Not an extremely long one either, but it's definitely a hike I want to undertake today. But yeah, I can see, sorry for the sun glare again, that's where the peak is. Those are Torrey pines up there. All right. So we're doing a little downhill. I think there's going to be a roller coaster of ups and downs as we get towards the turnoff, which will be a track leading up towards the peak. Sorry, spider. Sorry, buddy. There we go. All right. Here we go. Catch you on the next clip. Let's see what else we find today. All right, so we got another junction here. My intuition is telling me to stay right. Yeah, so that's why I'm gonna have to kind of pay attention to these junctions. I'm not sure exactly where that's gonna lead. It might lead to the same area. It might not. I don't know. So there might be an element of turning around a couple times. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, the temperatures went down about 8 degrees. Nice and cool in here. I can actually see my breath. It just went down to the 50s. That small little dip coming from there down to here, the temperature went down probably close to 10 degrees. Adiabatic cooling. No, this is the, not the adiabatic, this is the cold air sinking principle. Adiabatic is when you're going up in elevation. It gets colder in the higher mountains. But what I just went through is just denser, colder air sinking principle. Okay, I'm getting back out in the sun. And there's my peak. Let's see if this is going to be the way I intended to go. We'll see. All right. Very pleasant hiking over here, I'll tell you. There's another junction right here. Some of these lead up here from the lake. So I think what I'm going to do, let me see. Here's another junction here. I'm going to stay right at this one as well. So what I'm supposed to do, I want to wait till I get in the shade of the mountain side over here before I start doing that. All right, so I'm going to head this way. This time I'm going to take in the left. All right, maybe I can get a good thumbnail. But yeah, there's going to be a network of trails. So one of my paths is going to take me near those homes, but I'm trying to avoid actually going to the homes. I'm going to try to stay a little back. So a little bit off to the left, and there's going to be a trail heading up the ridge towards the peak. So we'll see how that works out. Here's another use trail here, probably going up towards the residences. So this time I actually went left. So I went right, and left. at the junctions. Right, and left. So let's see how this will work out. Now, maybe I can get a thumbnail of peak 952. Let's see. Ooh, the temperatures went down another 10 degrees again. It's actually nice and really cool down here. Feels like it's in the mid 50s, maybe even low 50s. It's really nice. Feels great. Okay, so now, this is where I gotta think. This use trail right here is gonna lead back to the reservoir. Now what I want to do is, like I said, I want to stay, I'm going to be heading towards that part of the ridge, but I'm going to try to avoid the houses on the left. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another left here. I think this will lead up towards that area, but I'm trying to stay a little further away. So I don't want to be creeping anybody out or not, or whatnot. All right, there's eucalyptus sideroxylon here, red ironbark, the dark trunks, and then Eucalyptus comadulensis, river red gum. All right, so let's see. Let's go ahead and start working my way up. So down in this little finger canyon here, temperatures are really nice and cool and pleasant. So yeah, I got to get up over there. There must be some kind of water flow over here. Oh, this is nice. This is very nice out here. So I'm going to follow this. Looks like a use trail. Huh. For this one here. Okay. So what I need to do is get up over there. Again, stay to the left of the houses and then find a field break or something up to the top of the ridge where the peak will be located. So yeah, I'm doing a little route finding. On this one. Like I said, I might have to change direction a couple times. But all in all, this is a very pleasant adventure out here near Lake Miramar. Yeah, this is really beautiful here. Okay. Got a trail here branching off to the left. I'm going to take this one here on the right. So it's right, left, right. The sequence. I think this will lead up towards the ridge line. So just got to remember the middle of these eucalyptus trees. When I map out my hike, I do my map on Google Earth to map it out that way. And we've got Eucalyptus polyanthemos here too. Silver dollar gum, or one of the silver dollar gums. Nice little thicket of it right here too. Another Aussie beauty. Okay. All right, let's see. As we got another trail there. This is kind of interesting. Let me see. Let me see how this goes here. this is pretty neat. Nice toy on right here. Getting more toy on mixing in. What do we have here? Is that a mission manzanita? Or a regular manzanita? Or none of the above? Can't tell from here yet. Back there. That looks like a mission manzanita. It's not a regular one. That's a Xylococcus bicolor. Okay. Almost up by the houses. I can see the trail contouring down from the ridge line. Let's see. Ooh, look at those Kentia palms. Hawea forsteriana. Nice landscape palms right there. All right. Enjoy these views. Look at that. Very nice. Wow. All right. Catch you on the next clip. I actually came across another person hiking with her dog, going along this fence here. Maybe she is a peak climber too. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go up here, and I'm gonna go right there to the left, a little closer to the houses than I want it to be, but it's all good. Rusa tegrifolia. Yes. Close enough to the coast for these. All right. And a mission manzanita. Ooh, somebody's got a young coast live oak. Okay. I'm going to keep my voice down a little bit because people who might be sleeping. Okay. Got a bear left here. See. Take this up here. Almost at the peak. Peak is just up here. Alright. Let's see. I'll take this use trail here. A little further off, away from the houses. Not to creep anybody out. Alright, let's summit this cool little peak. Ooh, a chalk dudleya, still blooming. Nice. Okay. Toy on. Yep. Torrey pines. We got Torrey pines up here. Yes, we do, folks. Yes, we do. These are planted. Their natural range is just a few miles to the west by La Jolla and Del Mar. So that'd be cool if these naturalized here on the hillsides. Okay. Looks like somebody put some irrigation stuff here. Keep these trees going their first few years of life. Okay. You see some piping here. The peak is just up here. Yeah, a lot of nice Torrey pines. Hopefully they naturalize here. That would be really cool. Oh, here's another Chuck Dudley right underneath this lemonade berry. Cool. All right. Let's make this final summit push, folks. Just gonna go up here to this little mini plateau. We might still get some pretty good views up here too. I'm just gonna take the direct way up this one. Sure, both of these will lead up there. All right. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and shut down for a minute or two, and I'll pick back up before I get to the summit of this. All right. This is really cool. All right, so I'm on the final summit push for peak 952. It's very loose and rocky here, so just be careful. All right, just about to summit this one. Yeah, man, what a cool ridge line this is. There are two humps. Two bumps. The one further west is supposed to be just a couple feet higher, but I'm probably going to try to explore both of them. All right, almost here. I just got to look for the high point. Alright. Yeah. Glad I took the viewfinder on that other ridge. Only because this one's got a lot of tree and shrub cover. Okay. Where's my high point? All right, where's it? I think I'm just about there. All right. This is it. Peak 952. Right up here in Scripps Ranch. Yeah, this north-facing slope here is covered in a veritable Torrey pine forest. Look at that. How cool is that? I already knew this because I had researched this before. Yep, this is it, peak 952. There's some higher terrain on that side there. I think the top of that mesa tops out just barely at 1,000 feet. But we're on the high point of this part of the ridge. I forget the name of the road that's down there. I forget if that's Scripps Ranch Road or not. I'll type it, I'll put it in the screen, but look at the beautiful Torrey pine forest. I know these are planted here. Probably naturalizing too. Cool. Yeah, this is a pretty dope little peak. Yep. This is it. Glad I made it up here. Very happy. This almost looks like a part of Torrey Pines, almost. I love it. All right, it's time for a summit selfie and a 360. just going to do a quick 360 up here just because I like to do that if I do multiple viewpoints. But this is the main peak, but like I said, not going to see much off to the north because we're not going to see many deep views because of the beautiful views of these local Torrey pines here. So okay, so we're going to start off by looking west. And I'm going to go counterclockwise like I usually do. Looking south. Looking east up into Cleveland National Forest, way off in the distance. Okay. Northeast. North. And back to the west. Okay. Well, with views from here, looking down this way, are pretty nice. Not gonna lie. So I'm gonna go head over to this secondary bump right here. This is the higher one. This is the higher one of the two. But I kind of just want to check out over there and explore a little bit. Yeah, there are some pretty good views up here. Yeah, I can see the peaks of Mission Trails again. Again, those two nearby peaks over there. Of course, again, North Fortuna Mountain, highest point on the northern part of Mission Trails, and Coles Mountain, the highest point in Mission Trails, period. Also the high point in the city limits of San Diego. It is within the city limits. It's just right above the San Carlos neighborhood. North Fortuna Mountain is just east of Tierra Santa. Alright, so let's see if I can make my way over to this little bump here. Might have to do a little bushwhacking, I don't know. Well, maybe not. Maybe if I duck down beneath the ridge a little bit, maybe I can find some more open terrain. So I don't want to have to bushwhack. Yep. Peak 952. Yeah, I wanted to come up here last year, and I didn't know you could park at Natalie Park. I didn't know what the logistics were, but Google Earth image shows people parking there. Okay, so here's a trail. I'm just going to follow this use trail over to that secondary knoll. Just got to walk careful where I point my camera. I'm tempted to explore the north side of this hill, but I don't know if that's a good idea. It's tempting because that Torrey pine forest is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I was looking down from there, I was thinking two thoughts. Almost felt like I was in parts of Torrey Pines Reserve, A, and B, it almost felt like I was in the mountains. Oh yeah. Yeah, a slightly lower bump here. A little more open. I'm going to probably do a 360 up here too. There might be a slightly more open view at this end of the ridge. Oh, you got some chaparral yucca stalks. Ooh, look at that. Watch out, don't get yourself jabbed by one of these. Doesn't mean you can't enjoy looking at them. I sure do. Wow. So there's a little use trail that connects to this knoll on this side too, which is really nice. Like really intended to explore both bumps along the ridge. Alright, just about at the second one. Yeah, this one should just maybe be no more than 5 feet lower, if even that. If even that, to be honest with you. We're Mission Manzanita up here. There's a stake over here. Yeah, I'm kind of glad I'm visiting both. There's a rock duck up here. Huh. Oh, look at this gnarly scrub oak. All the views here are going to be even better. Oh yeah. The elevation here should be negligibly different. When I looked on Google Earth, over there was just a little tiny bit higher. I'm so glad I came over to this part of the ridge too. Now we get to look around and, oh yeah, some good views over here. Some other peaks I eventually want to visit. Definitely in the future. Some nearby little summits. Like this little knoll right here. That hill's about 876 feet. That's one I wanted to visit. There's a small peak over there that's about 860 feet in elevation. Oh yeah, see, this is a view I didn't see from any of the other viewpoints. We're looking off to the northwest, or west-northwest, and there's Black Mountain open space right there. A couple of the summits I can point out. That's the main one, Black Mountain right there at 1,552 feet, the second highest elevation in the city limits of San Diego. And then that over there is Little Black Mountain, which is a little over, I think it's about 1,370 feet. And then there's a small, unofficially named one called Manzanita Loop Hill, named for the trail that cuts around it. So yeah, some good views up here on this side here. We do get some good views here. And yeah, it's still too hazy in the camera. The sun is just too bright. I'm pretty sure these trails are all over the place here on the north side of the lake, but yeah, man, I love these little hills. I love these hills. Doesn't always matter the size of the hill, whether you're hiking something small like this or if you're hiking up San Gorgonio Mountain. For people like me and a lot of those other people who are just dedicated to climbing hilltops and peaks and summits, there's nothing like getting on the summit of something. There's nothing like it. Nothing like it. And for me, adding in the love for wildlife, botany, and nature in general, all it does is just make the experience even more fun. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and I will get a summit selfie here, and I'm going to take a few stills. Before I forget, so yeah, I pointed out over there by Black Mountain Open Space Park. Well, here's the Van Dam Ridgeline right here. This is Van Dam Ridgeline in Sabre Springs Open Space. There's a network of trails that culminate at the top of North Van Dam Peak at 1,113 feet. Yeah, so that's the Van Dam Ridgeline right there, Van Dam Open Space in Sabre Springs. That side is San Diego, and that side's Poway, so we're really close to Poway. And I can see it looks like Twin Peaks way out there. I think that's Twin Peaks. I think that's Twin Peaks and Poway out there too. So we're looking roughly north, northeast. And that big long ridge line out there in the distance is Palomar Mountain. I had to take some time to point out some more of these cool views. So we got some perspective up here that we didn't get on that first overlook at the top of the rise on the first trail I took. So we get some perspectives here. That's why I find it important to do that. So I'm just going to do just a really quick 360 up here. So I'm going to start looking southwest this time. I'm going to start kind of awkward because I'm already pointing it there. This is southwest, Miramar Marine Corps Air Station down there. Really cool Scripps Ranch neighborhood. There's a lot to do here, I'll tell you. It's out in the peaks of Cleveland National Forest. Now I'm going to go ahead and lower this so the sun doesn't get too much in there. I apologize for the glare. Swinging it back around towards Van Dam Ridgeline, Black Mountain, off to our west-northwest, culminating back at this ridgeline, this cool ridgeline. This is not the highest summit. There's actually a bump along the way that's I think just barely hits 1,000 feet, and it's in a residential area. I'm not really big on residential area peaks. And there's our southwest view again. I'm not as big on residential area peaks, especially I'm not as big on those, but doesn't mean I'm adverse to climbing them if if I really want to get to a peak and just want to get, I'm not completely adverse to it, but it's not my first choice. I like these ones where here you can hang out with your native brethren here, or native plants here. And there's good old Miramar Reservoir. The drive along the road to get here is very scenic. I am almost tempted to make a loop out of this and see if I can bail out and then hike along the road. I'm tempted to make a loop out of this just for some extra flavor. I might do that. I'm thinking about doing that. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of go back the way I came until I get to that eucalyptus grove in that gully, and then I'm going to take a trail going towards the lake and then go around the reservoir. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to make a loop out of this today. Why not? All right. May as well enjoy my time. I still got some time before the weather starts getting hot. It's actually delightful right now. It's only in the probably maybe low 60s up here. Down in the gully was down. It's probably like around 52, 53 degrees. It was nice and cool. I could even see my breath. Yeah. I love these little spots. A little piece of wild in the middle of suburbia. You can hear the cars going by down the road there. I was very tempted also to explore the north slope of this, just to check out this Torrey pine forest. Very tempted. All right. Looks like this one's already ripened. There are going to be a bunch of black disc-shaped seeds in there. If you come during late summer and you see a lot of black specks on the ground, black rounded specks, those are most likely going to be your chaparral yucca seeds. I have grown this plant before. I thought you have to have special treatment to get it to germinate, but I just planted the seeds and had a few seedlings come up. Very delightful plant. It's just something you don't want to put in a walkway. Oh, here's another barrel cactus. Oh, snap. Another coast barrel cactus. I missed that. Sometimes you find stuff on the way out that you didn't see on the way in. But I'm going to be making a loop out of this. I'm thinking the interest factor is going to be a little bit elevated because I'm going to be filming in a different direction. But I am kind of curious to check out this pine forest very briefly. before I start making my descent. Let's see if this is feasible. So here's our little pine forest here. As I can see, there's a drainage gully down there, or drainage culvert. See, I've seen this. The reason why I knew about this pine forest before coming here is I've studied the area on Google Earth and Google Maps. And then one of these days, I think I'm going to take a walk along the sidewalk down at the base of the hill here on the north side to look up. There's also supposed to be some non-native Aleppo pines mixing in too along this. This is cool. This is pretty cool looking. Very cool looking. I love this. I love these little spots. Yeah, I got these gorgeous Torrey pines. It's very densely forested here too. It's like definitely a thicket, or a thicket forest of these gorgeous native Torrey pines. Like I said, there are some Aleppo pines down there too along the way. I don't really see them from here, but I know there are there because I've seen the imagery. So I'm wondering if I can get to that drainage culvert, I can check out some of that. If I could find a way to get to that drainage culvert, I can do a little exploring over there too, maybe. Just a brief one though. Kind of like to get some footage inside of at least a little piece of the forest. Let's see if I can. I don't know. We'll see. Alright, so what I am gonna see if I can access that little trail there and see if it'll take me close to that drainage culvert on the ridge. I'm gonna on the back side of the ridge. I'm gonna try to see. Like I said, I climbed the peak, and now before it gets blazing hot, I want to do just a little exploration. Not quite ready to end my day. A little slippery out here, so just especially watch it on the descent. It's kind of like that first uphill trail, kind of rocky and a little slippery, so just be careful. So I'm going to try to join that trail there and see if I can cut across to the north side of the ridge and maybe follow the drainage culvert for a short period. So I'll see you down by the other trail. I think it should be just down this way a little bit. Okay, so I'm back here at the little plateau or the shelf. I did find a drainage culvert here. There's a drainage culvert right here. But I want to see if this trail here will take me to the drainage culvert on the other side of the ridge. Just so I can get a closer look at the Torrey pine forest. Boy, this is a very enjoyable little outing. So let's see where this goes. Let's see if this leads over to the drainage culvert. There's a chaparral prickly pear. Right there. Opuntia auricola. Just above us here on the hill. Cool. Cool, 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 cool. We still have a few little, Crocanthem scoparium. Well, these blooms are tiny. Look at that. Usually about 3 times as large as that. That's kind of cool. The little mini blooms. So here's the dip. I think that's the key coal right there. Down there, I think is the coal. In other words, the lowest saddle which establishes the prominence of the peak. Prominence of this peak is probably only about 70 feet. I think it's the key coal or the key saddle right there. All right, let's see. I'm just underneath the peak right now. Let's see. Okay. I'll go follow it this way. Making a little more adventure out of this. It's just enough moisture up here to support a willow. Don't typically find willows on ridge lines. Not here in Southern California, at least. That's an arroyo willow right there. That's crazy. It's probably because of the irrigation. There's some irrigation up here, you can tell. Let's see here. Let's see what's going on over here. Yeah, it's damp over here. The soil's damp. That's why everything is so much more verdant over here. Yeah, the soil's actually damp beneath my feet. Look at how lush the California sagebrush is over here. Wow, this is definitely a cool little ridge exploration. There are Torrey pine forest over here. Usually these are more woodland trees than forest trees, but they got them densely packed over here. Almost near the saddle, actually. Oh, cool, there's actually a trail along here. Wow, this is pretty dope. I think this might meet up with another trail that leads down the gully. I think. I will be checking that out. Yeah, okay, so this is pretty steep over here. So if you decide to do something similar to what I'm doing, just take your time. Maybe trekking poles. Dang. With a little imagination, you can make your own adventure pretty much anywhere you go. And that's the aim of my channel, is to show adventure can be found wherever you want to find it. And that's why I do these kind of hikes too, because I love these little out-of-the-way adventures. They're even in areas that are very popular, like Lake Miramar. You can still have an adventure if you just veer off a little bit. Yeah, here's a willow, an arroyo willow, right up here in the middle of a ridge line. And a very handsome young lemonade berry right here too. Beautiful two-trunk specimen here. All right. The same spirit I try to do these type of hikes with, that I use to do these type of hikes. Also the reason why I do like a lot of off-trail hiking too. See, there's the canyon right here. That's the canyon. See where all these eucalyptus trees are there. And I started going up this way up the Use Trail towards the residence on the corner there, and then went around that and found the trail to get up to the peak. And now I'm near the saddle. I think this is the key coal right here, or the main saddle. The key coal of this peak should be here, I believe. I think. I'm almost near the road. I'm almost near the road. Oh, this is cool. Man, I love these out-of-the-way little spots. Oh yeah, look at this. Oh yeah. Heading right for the forest. And there's the street right there. I may as well just go right to the street. Oh yeah. Yeah, there are a lot of willows here too. Wow, this is pretty sick. Right here in the middle of a little miniature Torrey pine forest. Look at that. There's a nice toyon right here too. Oh, this is pretty sick. Wow, this is gnarly. Yeah, I actually got a trail right in the forest. Yeah, the used trail goes right to the sidewalk. Cool. Wow. Yeah, this is pretty nice. Right here in a Torrey pine forest. Oh, look at this toyon in full bloom too. Look at the white puffs on it. That's the full bloom of toyon. Heteromeles are butifolia. Wow. It's a pretty tall one too. I'm just about here at the road. Cool. That was a pretty short little extra side trip. Here are the toyons in bloom. Still have some red fruit on it from last year. Look at that. Yeah. Ooh, there's a small camphor tree. Cinnamomum camphora. And a strawberry tree right there. And we got Eucalyptus nicolii too. Yeah. Willow peppermint gum, I think, right here too. Eucalyptus nicolii. That's what this looks like right here. Let's see if it has a peppermint smell to it. Oh yes, it does. Yeah, this is Eucalyptus nicolii. Willow peppermint eucalyptus. Wow. What a jacaranda. Still blooming here in July. Wow. There's the road. Yep, the peak is just under here. So yeah, this leads just to the saddle. Very short distance to the saddle. There's a Torrey pine forest. Look at that. And some Aleppo pine action over here. Yeah, we do have some Aleppo pines here. It's pretty nice. Right. So I guess we'll call that stop 3, I guess. Oh, is this another strawberry tree? Yeah. Arbutus unedo. Yeah. Looks very similar to the toyon. The leaves are very toyon-like. That's where Heteromeles arbutifolia gets its name, because the leaves are very similar to arbutus. Here's Arbutus unedo. And that's Arbutus unedo. And here's Heteromeles arbutifolia. Yep, Heteromeles arbutifolia. Very similar leaves, hence why the name arbutifolia. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's definitely going to be worth a few pictures. Wow. That's a pretty decent sized toyon right here. We're on a north facing slope. And this looks like what do they call it? Myoporum parviflorum? I think parviflorum or parvifolium, I forget. Perennial ground cover. I think it's woody based too. All right, time for some photos around here. So I'm almost back at the saddle. Extremely short walk. The sidewalk's just over there. Here's a non-native rock rose. I believe this one's Cistus creticus. I believe. The purple one. I believe that's the species we have here. Yeah. So we're just about back at the saddle here. Man, these adventures are fun. Oh, man. All right. Bush tits. All flitting about here. And these buckwheats. They're tiny birds, too. They're so tiny. I love those little birds so much. Now, I think it's, oh, there's a trail. It goes up that a little bit too, it looks like. I'm trying to see if there's a ridgeline trail or a trail that goes down this and meets down in the canyon. So I did see a trail veering off before I made the ascent towards the houses on the corner of that lot. I thought there was a trail around here going up that way. I don't see it. I thought I saw a trail going up the other side of the saddle. Just trying to see if that's the case. If I can maneuver my way over that way. I don't think so. I thought I saw one. Yeah, I thought I saw a trail over there. I think what I'll do is I'll just go up this way, the way I came, and see if I can find a workaround or something. Cool. This is really sick. I love it. Good adventure today. All right, I'm gonna go climb up this. Oh boy. All right. I'll go back to that trail split and I'll assess my next move. Okay, so I'm over this rise above the saddle. There was a trail going up there, but it would have been a bushwhack to get to what I thought might have been a trail. Oh well. I'm gonna go back down to that plateau and then start working my way down. I'm gonna see about trying to join a trail that gets to one of those little bays of the lake, and then hike the road back to Natalie Park for a loop. So this was kind of a 3-point out and back portion. So I went up to the ridge somewhere over there, up to 952, and a subsidiary summit. I'll consider that all part of stop 2. And then over by the road, stop 3, underneath that saddle. So yeah, I love exploring. Exploring is what makes life fun. Now this isn't like way out in the wilderness exploring, like some people do. But like I've said before, you can make your own adventure if you put your mind to it. And that is definitely my school of thought when it comes to hiking. So I like to make my own adventures. All right, so I'm back here at the plateau. This is the way I went up to get up to peak 952, and that way goes towards the saddle. Now I am going to head back to the trail and try to see if that other trail connects to the lake, the road by the lake. Almost certain it does. Okay, big erosion gully here, probably from the rains, and probably the the sprinkler system. There's some old seashells. This looks like this is also ocean sediment, marine sedimentary soil here too. Okay, so let's see. Okay, here's the use trail. Here's the trail that goes back to the lower plateau by the houses. I'll take this little faint use trail here. So it didn't require a lot of hard route finding to get up here. Like I said, there are a lot of trails, but I headed in the general direction, which is northeast from Natalie Park, and that's just follow your intuition. You should get a pretty roughly accurate map of my path of travel out of this. All right, so we're just about by the houses in the plateau, and I'm going to start looking for the trail that heads towards Lake Miramar. All right. See you on the next clip. Alright, so this is how I came up the trail that led up to there and over here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one here on the way down. Oh boy. Oh, this one's pretty loose here. So I'm going to take this one down. Should be able to meet up with the gully trail. I'm pretty sure this is going to meet up with that gully trail from which I veered to get up towards that residential area. Well, these people don't know how lucky they are, or maybe they do. How they got all this gorgeous chaparral just outside of their house. If you got Scripps chaparral outside, of course it's a fire danger, of course. You know, if you live out in the chaparral, that's what happens. But you gotta admit, it is a beautiful, beautiful place to live. I love the chaparral. Why do you think I spend so much time hiking around it? I love chaparral. Oh, here's a toyon and scrub oak combination right here. This is interesting. Here's the toyon. It's a small toyon. Flower buds. And then we've got a Quercus dumosa right here. Little tiny leaves on this beautiful little scrub oak. Handsome. All right. Let's see if this leads down to the bottom. This is kind of going back towards the saddle a little bit. I'm hoping it meets up with a gully trail. Well, if not, I'm gonna have another out and back on my adventure today. Hey, it's all good. Oh yeah, it's heading right down towards it now. It's heading right towards it, just very steeply over here. We're just gonna take our time and not rush this. All right, I gotta focus, so I'm gonna go ahead and shut down because it's going to get real steep over there. So I got to kind of be careful here. Catch you on the next clip. I think I'm over the worst of it. Look at these gorgeous scrub oaks. Had to get a few pictures of these earlier. These are some beautiful Quercus dumosas. It is absolutely splendid down here. Yeah, we're on a pretty steep, protected slope here, so moisture stays down here a lot longer. Hence why the scrub oaks are pretty big. All right, so let me see if I can hop down this. It's getting a little sketchy again. It's pretty steep getting down here, I'm not gonna lie. I'd really be careful. Footing was pretty uncomfortable. But boy, wow. Beautiful scrub oak grove down here. I think we're just about to meet up with the gully trail. A little rutted over here too, so just watch your step. Okay. Yep. Just as predicted, we are just about back at the gully trail. Not exactly sure where that's going to go, but I'm going to head this way, back in the gully, or just above it slightly. Should head me towards the lake. Wow. Yeah, this is beautiful. Very beautiful here. Okay, that's where I came up earlier. And then went up this way here. I'm gonna go this way now. I'm assuming this is gonna take me back by the lake. Look at this beautiful young sapling. Eucalyptus polyanthemos. Okay, so let's start a new leg of this adventure. Let's see if this leads by. Let's see if this leads by the lake. I'm not sure if this one's gonna go there. Not too sure. Not sure. Interesting. I guess I'll explore it. Let's see what happens. All right. Well, I think there's supposed to. Yeah, there should be. Yeah, there's another trail down there where I came. I came from that side there of this gully. See the trail etched into the hillside there, but there's another trail at the bottom. I'm supposed to take that, but I guess I will be erring on the side of adventure a little bit more. So let's take this and see where this goes. Okay, see you on the next clip. All right, pretty short distance later, there's a spur heading that way, and this one heading up this way. Intuition would tell me to go that way. Let's see where this goes first. Okay, that's going to go back up by the houses. This is going to go back down this way. Okay. Oh man, pretty delightful. It's got another trail going that way, and one going this way. You can see the trail where I was hiking earlier. This could be a pretty interesting configuration, to be honest. think this is going to lead right down by one of these little bays. Wow, this is a pretty fun adventure. Okay, here's another trail right here, actually. Another T-intersection. Okay. I guess I will go this way. Man, if it weren't going to be hot today, if it weren't supposed to get hot later on, I'd probably explore more of this. Penasquito's Arm. That's the name of this portion of this little bay. Penasquito's Arm. I think I'm gonna take the more gradual way down here. So I think it should meet up with a gully. Yeah, this is so pretty. Bush tits again. Salterparus minimus. These little cheeps. They are such adorable little birds. They are tiny. They are just tiny little things. They are just fun to see. Then we got a mixed eucalyptus grove here. Okay, this is actually heading back towards the gully. Kind of curious. All right, let me see where this leads. All right, so I actually completed a loop right now. So this is for whence I came originally earlier this morning. Cut through here, cut through that way. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn left at this junction and head this way, and it should lead me towards Penasquito's Arm of Miramar Reservoir, to this lovely little eucalyptus woodland here. At least 3 different species of eucalyptus here. It's very charming. Okay, another little use trail here. For the most part, very well, easy to follow trail to get over here. Ooh. Okay, so we're just about back at the bay. I think Penasquito's Arm. Here's another trail right here. Pretty cool. Wow. Okay, let's start making our way back to Natalie Park. Here we go, folks. Penasquito's Arm. That's chaparral. Actually, trails down there too. There's a trail down there. Interesting. All right. Big eucalyptus cladocalyx. Pretty tall one there. Got that gorgeous toy on. There's actually a trail down there too. I'll look for maybe an access point. That might actually be more interesting than the road, even though the road itself is pretty nice. Okay, I'll see you at my next update. Actually dipping down towards the trail right now. Alright. So I'm actually on the trail now. I think this will be even a little more scenic. Look at those beautiful Washingtonia robustas, Mexican fan palms. Very handsome. Ooh, a little chamise right here by the side, too. Look at those beautiful fan palms. Just lining the side of the lake. Look how big the chamise gets over here, too. Look at that. Dang. This thing's dang near 10 feet tall. Oh, look at these guys. Beautiful. I think it's time for a picture or two. Look at that Bishop Manzanita. These scrub oaks, these are pretty big. I still think this is Dumosa. I think this is Dumosa still. And these are pretty decent size. These are beautiful scrub oaks. And more Washingtonia robustas. Very handsome fan palms. Oh, look at these scrub oaks. These are pretty solid size. Their roots go down deep, so I'm pretty sure they already get some access to the water. Oh, the chamise is so huge here too. I love this little avenue of palms. This is just so beautiful. Man, this is cool. Yeah, made the right decision scuffing down to the trail. I love this avenue of palms. Watch out, here's a spider web. I don't want to get it all in my face. Oh, wow. Yeah, this is definitely the right decision, making a loop out of this. All I did was just add it to an adventure. It's already been pretty spot on. Look at this little tiny laurel sumac. This little guy, full bloom. Wow, very handsome. There's another Eucalyptus polyanthemos up here too. Ooh, lemon-scented gum saplings. Yep, this is Corymbia citriota, another Eucalyptus relative. Just rub these glandular juvenile leaves. Ooh, that citronella smell. These are lemon-scented gum saplings. These are lemon-scented gums right up here. It's Corymbia citriota. Yeah, look at that. And then, speaking of eucalypt saplings, because Corymbia is a type of eucalypt related to these, this is a sapling Eucalyptus polyanthemos. Okie dokie. I had my rugged hill type, but now it's a gentle walk along the reservoir. So yeah, this video is going to be pretty long. Just go out over this little pier. check this out for a minute or two. Cool. Very nice. Yep, Miramar Reservoir. Pretty nice. Cool. All right. Let's see. If I can find this trail here. Follow it this way. Ooh, we got here. Ooh, we got Monterey pine, I think. Yeah. Pinus radiata, radiata. Monterey pine growing here too. Yeah. There's a Monterey pine. Oh, and here's a sapling Monterey pine. Oh, heck yeah. Yeah, this is a Monterey pine sapling. Cool. Must have came up here on its own. That's sick. That is crazy awesome. And now we got Italian stone pine, Pinus pinea. Ooh, these are handsome. Yeah, these are Italian stone pines here. And another fan palm. Cool. Okay, I can dig it. Yeah, all right, next clip. We'll see what happens. All right, Gooding's Black Willow. Salix Goodingy. Nice little specimen here. This is so enchanted. Oh, there's a bigger, much bigger Gooding's Willow right there. And an accompanying Canary Island pine for some exotic flavor. And now we're back into red ironbark. Red ironbark right here. This is gorgeous. Oh, look at this. Beautiful red ironbarks here. And now we got more Torrey pines. Oh, look at that. You can tell these are pretty young trees, but they really grow fast when they're young. Yeah, I'm going to stick along the trail part. The road's cool, but look, we're up close and personal with the trees when I'm here. Look at this handsome Torrey pine. Beautiful trees. And now, well, we got ourselves a coast live oak. Corcus agrifolia, variety agrifolia seedling. Very, very interesting indeed. Here's that other larger Gooding's willow right here. It's got a pretty nice sized trunk on it. Occasionally these can get pretty large. Here's that Canary Island pine again. Ooh, I just caught a whiff of it too. Canary Island pine always smells so nice on a warm day. Ooh, there's a Canary Island pine sapling right there. That's a young one. Man. Oh man. I knew I was going to have a fun time, but boy, as usual, I always have more fun than I even think I'm going to have, and I already know I'm going to have a blast. Now, Eucalyptus cladocalyx again. Oh, look at this beautiful Canary Island pine. Look at that. Ooh. And of course, Pistacia chinensis, Chinese pistache. Okay. Oh yeah. Got an Aleppo pine. Got some Aleppo pines up ahead too. Here we go. Look at that leaning Aleppo pine. Leaning right over the Canary Island date palm. Now we got Canary Island date palms now. This is seriously wickedly awesome. This is really awesome. I got a stand of Canary Island pines up ahead. Yep, this is going to be one of my long videos again, it looks like. You know, I like to be comprehensive when I do coverage of an area. Look at these handsome Canary Island date palms. Phoenix canariensis. And Canary Island pine. Pinus canariensis. Entering a small grove of Canary Island pines. Look at this. Oh, this is beautiful. Look at this nice line of them here. Alright, let's see. I like how these line the lake. I love how these Canary Island pines just line the lake like this. God, these are beautiful trees. Here's a non-native tamarisk. Oh, and here's Canary Island pine's Mediterranean cousin, the Aleppo pine again. Aleppo pines are pretty closely related to Canary Island pines, and Italian stone pines for that matter. Here are more Canary Island pines. Ooh, what do we have up here? Next to this date palm. Is that a... Oh, I think that's an Atlas cedar. I think this is a Cedrus atlantica, I think. I think this is an Atlas cedar. I thought it was going to be a silky oak, but it's in pretty rough shape. It's still alive, but it's not in very healthy shape. Yeah, it's a Cedrus. It's in the pine family, by the way. Okay. We need to get some photos, but first, you saw the Aleppo pine, the Canary Island pine, two close relatives. And here's another close relative in the Pinaster group. Pinus pinea, once again, Italian stone pine. Guess I might have to get some pictures of this area. These here, I think, might be Afghan pines. I think this is Pinus aldarica. These look like Afghan pines. So it looks like we've got several species of pines growing here. And that's another pine. Another pine in the Pinaster group. Yeah, I think this is an Afghan pine here. These ones are a little more neatly formal than their close relatives, the Aleppos. Here's the cone. Here's the cone. I think this is Afghan pine. I'll be checking this out. I'm looking more into this. But I know I've had people ask me about bees about the difference between Aleppo pines and Afghan pines. I think this is an Afghan pine here. No, they're not exactly. I always thought that they'd be more formal, and they start off more formal, but I think they can get a little bit more irregular with age, but not quite as irregular as Aleppo pines, obviously. Aleppo pines are on another level. Yeah, I think we have some Afghan pines here mixing in. So I'm gonna go on this pier for a minute. Alright, so I'm here on this little pier or launch or whatever. This might be a boat launch too. Yeah. Right on the lake. Yeah, that little trail, that was the right option for me. I gotta look and figure out where Natalie Park is. I have to remember. Who knows, I might have passed it. If I passed it, no, I think it's right up there. I think I see it. So I'm almost done with this hike already. It's kind of sad. Look at that. Miramar Reservoir. There's the dam. I think it's an earthen dam over there. So I think on the backside of it's like a grassy slope. Wow, this has been a really incredible adventure out here. So, as I was thinking, how many different types of pines did I see here? Well, let's see. As for California natives, Torrey pine, Monterey pine, so that's 2. Then Canary Island pine, Aleppo pine, Italian stone pine, and what I believe is Afghan pine. So I'm thinking 6 different species of pines growing here. That is pretty cool. Look at that. What a view. This is such a peaceful place. It's really neat. I'm going to get a few pictures of this. Alright. Here's Natalie Park. Yep, this is Natalie Park here. Actually kind of sad to see this end. Beautiful little park. There it is. That's where I'm parked. Natalie Park. Wow. Come with this Cladicalix. Very nice. Here's Aleppo pine. What a beautiful tree. Alright. I'm going to explore this park for a few minutes before it's time to go. Alright. So I'm just about back at my vehicle with think the cicadas are starting to buzz up in the hills already. Oh, wow. This one was a fun hike. Oh, man. Oh, man, this was so much fun. I really had a blast. And I hope you had a blast watching the different types of terrain, all the different stuff I experienced today. So I sure as heck had fun taking you along on this adventure. I really did. My little buddy right here, my Canary Island Pine little buddy. One of these days, I want to explore this side. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do next time I'm here. I won't even focus on climbing peaks. Who knows? Can't say I never will. Never know. But I'll maybe explore this side here. Get another early start like I did today. Look at that eucalyptus cladocalyx. What a gorgeous tree. Absolutely stunning tree. Look at that. It's not even a really old tree, and it's probably close to 100 feet tall. That's a nice one. All right, well, again, hope you enjoyed coming along with me. Peak 952. We'll say first today, the overlook in the neighborhood area. That was my first one, a little straight up the ridge to the overlook. And then off to Peak 952, down to its saddle, up to the road, the Torrey Pine Forest, and then going around Miramar Reservoir, partially around it. And this was a fantastic day out here. Really, truly enjoyed checking it out and sharing it with you. Hopefully next week I can even get something longer in and just enjoy the peace here. Thanks for coming along with me. Thanks for watching. And I'll see you on my next hike next week, hopefully.